I'm Kana, Hinohara, Hanson, and I'm one of the owners of Giraffe. Giraffe is, at its core, kind of an everyday Japanese food spot. So we are tapping into kind of the convenience stores of Japan and the grab and go food, just the convenience, and little groceries that give you ingredients for cooking at home. We are just starting our cooking classes program too. So the idea is, people are really intimidated to make Japanese food. They think that it's really difficult. You have to be apprentice of a chef for 10 years before you're allowed to do anything, and these are true in cases in like Japanese cuisine, especially sushi, but it's not the case for all Japanese food. Everybody in Japan cooks at home. There's an array of Japanese recipes that are very simple to make. It's more ingredients driven and less technique driven. And so we just want to make that accessible to people, to kind of break the barrier of like what Japanese food is and what you can make at home. It was the idea of my business partner Gabe. Gabe has Biwa. He used to have Biwa and has Norineko now, and I used to manage Biwa for the first 5 or 6 years. So Gabe and I became really close, but he kind of came up with the name, and I liked it in part because it lends to the idea of the mythical beast in Japan. That's the kirin, which in Japanese, if you translated kirin to English, it would be giraffe. And I don't know, it's a cool beast because it's one that came from Africa, and a Chinese emperor got it, and then tales of this giraffe traveled to Japan and it became mythologized, and it was this giant beast who was really tender and doesn't eat meat, has a really small footprint, it's really gentle, and so it's kind of a cool creature. My mom cooked all the time, and so I don't know, my parents are both born and raised in Tokyo, and they moved to the States in their mid-20s and had me. And so I grew up in the States, but to a very, very Japanese family. I always felt like I had more, I was always a rule breaker, and just really like to be creative. I always thought of myself as going more into the art world than the typical societal norms world, which I feel is what led me into restaurants to make money. I think, part of it was growing up in a very Japanese family, but being inside a very American culture as a whole. It just made me want to buck all the trends and the expectations, both of what my parents had on me and also of what the American society had placed on me. And so I just wanted to forge my own path and do my own thing. And my parents have been very supportive and understanding, even though I'm sure I'm disappointing to them in a lot of ways. But because I didn't do the stereotypical, become an engineer or a doctor or anything like that. But yeah, they always have enjoyed my creativity and have always supported me regardless. Yeah. More than anything, I like helping people break boundaries of things that people don't understand and making it accessible to them. So at Biwa, it was really fun because most people didn't know what an izakaya was, and so part of it was making people feel comfortable to be in this place. There's all these dishes they've never heard of, all these words they didn't know, and to be no, it's very easy. Let me help you understand this, and just make it accessible, kind of educate people. And the same thing with the sake program and at Biwa as well. I was working at Beast, and the same thing happens with wine programs. It's people are really scared and intimidated of wine, and I just like to make it more accessible to them. I mean, for me, happiness is definitely when I feel like I'm doing something that gives me fulfillment. If I feel like I have a path or a vision and I'm able to take the steps to continually try and reach it, even, despite failure and all of that, just continuing to forge along on this path. Like, that's definitely what I have found gives me happiness. Success, I feel like, is tied into that as well. I mean, I would like to pay the bills, but I don't really feel like I have really strong like ties to making a lot of money or anything like that. I just I want to do something that makes me proud of what I do. I want to feel like I connect with people and that they understand what my vision is. And if I can, like, kind of help show people a glimpse into like my perspective or my world a little bit, then I feel like I'm being successful.